map 1 will be in a really good position to take this.
Yeah, it is going to be a very aim-heavy match between the two teams, I would say. I don't necessarily really point these two teams out being more like the very strategic performers. Of course, they have lots of different strategies and plays that they go for, but most of the time they really like their raw aim duels to take the fight against their opponents and win it because they are fairly talented individuals in their own rights.
I think fairly maybe a bit of an understatement. A minute left though, and Calyx, that is a very fast headshot. P250 at long range, being put to really good use. Nickelback can't get anything done either. The Glock's up close, overwhelm him. And a 5v3 all falls onto Krad's shoulders to defend this A site before the rotates come in. And unfortunately, there's absolutely nothing he can do. That is a lightning fast shot from Forrester. But unfortunately, it's come just a little too late. It's going to be the round here for Eternal Fire as they get the bomb down and might even go for a bit of a hunt here.
Easy pickings for Eternal Fire, just walking up short. No real issues on the other side. And Entropiq, they all got themselves domed. And right now it's just Forrester trying to stay alive. The plus side is, of course, if he does not get hit by anything, that means he doesn't lose armor. And he only has to pay $350 for a headpiece upgrade. Otherwise, you got to pay the full grand for it. So not taking a single bullet right now is also a pretty big plus.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm somewhat surprised that Eternal Fire don't go for a little bit of a hunt there, especially Calyx, who hasn't really got anything to lose. But either way, they want to keep the 4 players alive. They want to play for the KD, perhaps. I don't know. Really, really good start, though. Absolutely sending it up short. Finding every single man in Entropiq. That's definitely going to shake you up. You come into Dust 2, any confidence that you had as maybe started to deplete after a pistol round like that. Now they go for the force. Deagle's out. Scout in play. WOXİC jumped down so he can see the cross. And to some degree, it actually could favour the Ts in certain scenarios because the CTs are now confident enough to not throw the early smoke. And if a T does jump into suicide and try and play the cross, then they don't have to worry about that smoke grenade limiting their vision.
There's going to be a quick push forward, and the CTs are actually finding the Deagle kills right now. This is a bit problematic. Need to fall back or at least get some backup from your teammate. Calyx tries to cross in, but there's 2 Deagles on the other side. A couple of body taps and you're gone. Now it's ISSA and WOXİC in a 2 versus 4, but luckily enough, they make it a little bit easier for themselves with that nice kill secured from ISSA. But look at this. Forrester might be in an angle that they won't be checking. Does take a little bit longer than he should have liked to get the kill onto the Scout Wielder, but it is ISSA in a 1v2. However, look at that, an AK and a Galil secured for Entropiq as well.
This is actually really smart from ISSA. They have the information that he's in the B tunnels. They've panicked and gone, oh my goodness, there's nobody here on B to defend it. And he's just mind gamed and worked his way round to A. Isolates the fight onto Krad, who just catches his legs but doesn't do a lot of damage. Now ISSA has to play the mind games further, and Lackey, he's read it like a book. He can hear him charging. There was enough time for ISSA to shift. He was confident that Lackey had rotated. The car sponges half the bullets, and Lackey gets away with murder. That was a very good clutch attempt from ISSA there. Very unfortunate that that final bullet didn't hit.
That was, yeah, exactly. That was a pretty close affair, but the long play from Entropiq, too much to handle for the Eternal Fire push. They pretty much got stuck behind blue container right there because they couldn't move. If they peeked anywhere towards the side, the Deagles would just spam away at them. And without utility ready to flush them out, they had no chance. What I do like about the fact that they added that little addition towards suicide is one of the things that I hated the most was CTs jumping the entire time, and right now jumping does nothing for you anymore.
Oh yeah, it's actually better to go close to the door and cross, because if they jump into suicide, they can only see you if you cross from further back. So, you know, jumping doesn't help you any further.
Because it always pissed me off that the only way that they ever could see you was if you jumped. Of course, if you crossed through the smoke, it would just be, you know, a chance. But they made it all a skillful situation, as is Entropiq right now. P shooting for Alien, gets himself a nice little double. And the remaining 2 Deagles will at least be able to find a bit more damage with the flank coming out. There's nothing to be gained here. Eternal Fire, they're just completely stuck. Same with a long play. They're stuck and they can't move. They're huddled in and being shot at from all different angles.
That was a really nice round from Elliot. 3 scout kills, 1 with the Deagle. Picks up an AK at the end as well. That one was very, very nice. So then, yeah, swapping to the pistol, finishing things off. Really solid round from him. Really solid A defense as well. Things can go so quickly wrong when you're against a team of talented aimers and they've got Deagles in hand. But yeah, Alien kind of got that damage control in place very early, very nicely. Zeus in hand once again. I'd love to see another Zeus kill, but it's looking unlikely based on the current configuration. For Entropiq, I like the fact they've actually gone for 2 MP9s here. This is out of choice. They didn't need to take these, but they know they're against an eco. They want the money, and WOXİC punished them for it.
That's the Glocks can still be fairly dangerous close range. But luckily enough, with some backup, they will be able to hold on towards their guns. Now, getting the bomb plant in would be a gigantic win for Eternal Fire, but it looks a little bit more problematic with WOXİC down to 2 HP. Oh, Krad just barely readjusts his aim in time. Didn't spot the player out on the side. Almost lost his life for that one. But considering the investment of Eternal Fire, 1 kill, still not that bad.
Krad didn't have a helmet there, and he actually got dinked by the MP9 at range too. So kind of sent his crosshair sky high, made it really difficult to adjust, but he did so nicely. Luckily for him, didn't take an extra shot after either. Here's that boost that we were talking about before, and Alien, that's the problem. There's no smoke, you're confident that you can hold it, and that's what happens to you. A complete change in dynamic of how mid works now on this map, and how mid control is taken by the Ts. It's a really nice showcase of it right there. WOXİC, nice bit of initiative.
They do need a little bit more practice on their boost play, though. I've seen teams just immediately jump on each other's head and fire a shot.
Yeah, it's about like nailing it, isn't it? It's about drilling it until you can kind of do it perfectly. It's the same as like teams that unironically use run boosts. You could use a run boost in a jokey setting, but if you actually drill a run boost, you can use it and you can get really good with it.
Can make some very nice plays, as Lackey is going to try and do here towards the A bomb site. Though WOXİC holds the line, gets the kill, puts it all onto Forrest in a 1v3.
And he's not going to go for it. No way here. 1v3. AUG wants to be saved into the next. Again, he's actually the man with no money. So if he saves this, his teammates can comfortably buy. There's no doubt about that. They've got plenty of cash behind them. It's actually interesting that Forrest is the man with no money, because he's the only one that's only died once. So I think he's just kind of in the bank here, dropping for everyone, hence why there's that lack of cash. Maybe he dropped that AWP over to Alien. Either way, though, there will be a full investment in the next. But Eternal Fire closing this gap. The 3-1 start starting to deplete as we go 3-2. And WOXÍC, that was a very fast flick down.
Yeah, a lot of decent damage being dealt, but considering Eternal Fire keep 3 alive as well, it's not too shabby on their part. Entropiq, they're going to go for a full investment. They lose this round, they are broken, will be forced on towards an eco, and that's exactly what Eternal Fire are looking for. This is still Dust 2, still a fairly T-sided map, and honestly, most of the time, these are 2 fairly T-sided teams. Oh, look at that. Out towards A long, not really pushing very much forward, but dancing behind the smoke. Krad will be able to find a first. And it is the utility actually doing most of the damage in the process. Krad gets a second one through the smoke. They're still dancing around the area. Well, Krad tries to peek in through a smoke that vanished at the worst possible moment. Cost him his life, and now it's a 3-on-3 all of a sudden.
Very winnable for either side. Elliot going clay pigeon shooting. Can't quite catch WOXÍC out the sky. Now WOXIC's the man with the advantage on the angle. Needs to be wary of Blackie though on the other side of this smoke, and in fact doesn't want to even take the fight. Wants nothing to do with it.
Waiting for a peek from Alien, but he's not going to go for that engagement. He's instead just going to be holding short, it seems. While his teammate lurks about. Oh, it's actually Lackey that's lurking towards short. Alien's keeping an eye on A long. They do have a bit of utility left. 2 cross smokes to make it towards the site. 2 mollies as well. No flashes though, so they need to make sure that these smokes hit the mark perfectly. Still seen some teams make a little bit of a mistake in that regard, but they're not going to let it out to chance. Even going for the boost play to peek up towards short, or just completely failed it.
Lackey. Tucked in Gandalf might be able to deny the plant. Can't quite do so. Yeah, a little too late, but does manage to find the all-important kill and leaves WOXİC in a 1-on-3. The boost comes through. WOXIC's ready for it. Can't connect the shot, though. Goes for the secondary. Lackey, very, very late to that peak, but does eventually find it. And eNTROPİQ make it 4.
I was wondering why after the first shot he didn't peek, and then after the second shot he still didn't peek. And yeah, that was a little bit late to the party, but nonetheless doesn't matter too much. They just lost one of their teammates, but eNTROPİQ, they managed to secure the round and they put it back in a 2-round lead for them. It took quite some time to get them on towards the bomb site, and at that point, you know, you got to stick that plant and you can just rush it down. WOXİC on the scout, 3 AKs and a Galil for the T side. Decent utility to work with at least. But Alien this time, he's not going to fall for the exact same shtick.
Well, once again, the man advantage here for eNTROPİQ. This has been a good start for them. Bear in mind, this is a Tunnels map pick, and not only this, but it's actually their best map in the pool. eNTROPİQ are putting their foot down early, saying they don't want a repeat of last week's shenanigans. And even though eNTROPİQ did actually win last week, they want to do it in more of a convincing fashion here today. Forrest on the other side of this smoke. Spam's come through, very narrowly missing.
Eternal Fire playing a little bit with the time, but the XQ coming out. Forrest gets a double. And while the push gets immediately annihilated, they all try to go in a straightforward line, but that is easy pickings for the eNTROPİQ side. And they just shut it down with the USP in the end. That was a fairly easy hold.
Well, at least eNTROPİQ made it look easy. You know, Truman, if they were running at me and you defending that B-bomb site, I think there'd be a very different outcome.
Yeah, we'd win. Easy. There's a smoke. I've got my Negev. No chance.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, but I'm not so sure. Pistols out, heading over towards long. Eternal Fire. I want to go for something a little quick here. They've got cash to go for that full investment. So get up close and personal. See if the Tech 9s can run and gun. And they've taken long control, but they want to head away from it. Just that initial prod, just that aggression to maybe draw or rotate, and it somewhat has.
They're the faces that you love to see.
Oh, yeah. It is weird, but I do like it. I do like it. And I know the players, so I can kind of... You can associate them.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier if you actually know the players in the teams. Right now, it looks like it's going to be another B take. Bit of utility, not much though for Eternal Fire. And they're going to cross right in towards Lackey, where he is making it another shooting gallery. Has to go for the reload, but with Forrester to back him up, it's... I mean, as you said, they're making it look easy, though, you know, you're running in a funnel, straightforward line. At that point, random bullets are going to absolutely destroy you.
Well, WOXİC hopes he can maybe do a little bit of damage. If Nickelback wants to go for another jump spot, then I think he might be in for a nasty surprise. Nade goes down, WOXİC dodges it, but 30 seconds left. Not a single kill found here for the Turkish side so far, and Alien on a pixel-tight angle manages to connect. 6-2, and eNTROPİQ are starting to run away with this. They're actually looking really strong here on Dust 2. Now they do have to face up against a buy, though.
We've got WOXİC again on his trusted AWP. Has to take the fight against Alien, which is, well, it's not a fight I want to take ever. Because that's one scary opera. But look at that. Lackey 11-3. A lot of those kills, of course, came from a certain direction. And you mentioned it previously. The fact that they don't use the smoke for the cross anymore Means that the T's have pretty easy pickings most of the time. This time around, though, the shot will not be able to connect, so no man advantage secured just yet. Oof.
Yeah, I almost feel like they still need to use that smoke, even though the wall's in place. Still very, very dangerous. Nice opening pick though. WOXİC gone. Entropiq looking for 7 right now. And you know, if they can take 7, they'll already be in for a good half, especially on the CT side of Dust 2. It's not their map pick. They're definitely in the runnings for more. Eternal Fire need to turn something around. And if they don't win this round, I'd actually quite like to see them call a timeout.
Yeah, because right now you're losing complete grip of the game. And it could be just a spiral out of control kind of situation. Lackey trying to hold the mid cross, toss the molly, but they're already past the molly, and that's iMORR securing a kill. Right now looking to go for the mid to B split. With a 1-for-1 trade, the B bomb site's empty. Krad, however, just spamming through the smoke, will be able to get another catch. Santera's 9 HP, but the rush through the smoke will be able to catch him off guard. The bomb's in control of the CT side, and ISSA has to go for a big clutch. With both the CTs on the other side, Alien with the Deagle, however, is a bit too much to handle, and Entropiq in a 7-2 lead. And as you said, hopefully we'll get to see that timeout so that they can quickly discuss what is going wrong.
Such a fast shot from Alien. Nice to see it from his POV. Yeah, Entropiq just kind of put their foot down from that point forward. Really, really solid stuff. 7-2, Eternal Fire back down to the pistols. Entropiq with a double AWP setup. Alien and Lackey, the two to wield it. Alien's really proven himself with this sniper here in this match, and Lackey in the past proven himself as quite a worthy secondary. Let's see if they can keep the same run of success here up against these pistols, or if they get overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's always a bit of the fear, of course, when you're playing an op against pistols. You miss one shot, all of a sudden Tech9's right in your face. Luckily enough, they are playing with a bit of a backup right now, because the two oppers are playing pretty much next to each other, and forced to back them up with the M4 in case the rush comes forward. But it looks like they're just going to go for a move up towards short and a quick attempt to get that bomb planted.
The execution coming in. Eternal Fire have actually managed to work their way all the way up short here, despite the lack of firepower. Now they have to face up against the AWP, though. Nickelbacking Goose to swing off of any contact, and there you go. Contact made. Alien finds it. Nickelback with the flash swings off of it. Triple spray down, and it's just a perfect configuration from Entropiq that cannot be broken.
Yeah, they're pretty capable on Dust 2, as you can see, which is an interesting affair, considering it is technically, well, it is not. It is their most played map, by far. They don't have the highest win rate, but Eternal Fire have played Dust 2 9 times, and they've only ever lost it a singular time against Fiend. They even beat Spirit on it, and Spirit are, I mean, I would say, pretty much equal to Entropiq.
I suppose I'd actually rank Spirit a little bit higher, especially with their history.
I mean, I think Entropiq have become like step by step a little bit stronger, whereas I think Spirit's slightly, you know, they haven't been playing that much, but they didn't also win in the games that they played.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I think you're right there.
Oof.
Nice goal from Crab. They're brilliant positioning. It's actually a really nice off angle too. So Calyx, he'll respond with a headshot of his own, but a 1 versus 3 and try and clutch up, but Forrester will finish him off. 9-2 Entropiq. They're running away with this. I actually don't know the ticket back in here for Eternal Fire. They need to start putting their foot down now, otherwise they're going to run out of chances.
It's not looking too sublime here. This is, I mean, right now it's just the Alien show doing exactly what he loves to do, and that's pop some enemies out of the surf, and he's doing it in an absolutely exceptional way. 11-5 for him. Forrester 11-2. I mean, Forrester and Lackey are the B bomb site defenders. 11-2 and a 12-4. That pretty much says enough of what's coming their direction.
Absolutely. Elliot, you see that nice round number 200? It's because he's getting all of his kills with that AWP. Look how much money they've got as well. Enough to splash out for the remaining rounds of this half, regardless of what happens. There we go, as we get back underway, a ton of fire back down to the pistols. WOXİC on that Glock so he can afford the AWP moving forward. He's got Kevlar behind it though, which is a bit of a bizarre one. Maybe hoping he can retrieve a weapon from somebody. We'll see how this plays out though.
Yeah, they're... I mean, what kind of play would you go... The only other play that, you know, not every team runs would be the short drop in towards CT, which I still find to be like the most ingenious way to play Dust 2, because every other play is pretty much a copy paste of every other team. But I would like to see those Tech 9s maybe get quickly close in towards CT, see if you can open that area and head towards B. Jumping across, trying to make sure that the op doesn't shut him down.
Well, Forrester's on a really good angle here. The issue is if a Deagle peeks him first, he could be in trouble. And especially with that pincer coming in from tunnels, I think they're starting to realize what's up right now. And as he peeks, spots all of them, now knows he's in trouble. And Lackey can't really support. Big headshot found, though. Forrester just tucked in the corner. Knows that he just has to stay alive in this scenario. And as he drops, Lackey, he's called upon. But luckily, Elian's from behind to support. ISSA with a big headshot, but surely no chance here. He has got the bomb. He's got an AWP, but there's no chance to plant it. 10-2, Entropiq. It's a messy round. They take 3 casualties, but they recover it nicely.
They don't save the secondary AWP, but you mentioned it previously. Who cares? They're rich on the CT side. Forcer right there. He peeked very deeply because he didn't expect them to already have pushed through mid, so he was in a very uncomfortable position. Elian also saving Lackey's backside there was a pretty nice adjustment. Nonetheless, Entropiq with an 8-round lead and Eternal Fire. They're not finding any avenue back towards this game right now. Lackey gets tagged up, but not taken yet. He immediately throws out the smoke because he knows that the molly is headed right in towards his direction, while Nickelback has the flank and bomb control. What just happened? Nickelback running through with that backstab.
This is perfect. The secondary smoke does somewhat limit his vision onto the C4, but there's a nice gap in it, and he's just going to hold it. This has gone horribly wrong for Eternal Fire. They had long control, they had an avenue up to the A site, and now they have to try and backtrack to retrieve this bomb, and Entropiq have gone full stack mode to save it. Nickelback right through the door, laser-like precision through a door and a smoke to find that second headshot, and the nade will finish things off. What a round from Nickelback, a 4K for the man.
I mean, that backstab, taking the only one with the bomb that's not out towards A long, down right in front of the double doors. And it even drops away. That is just sublime performance coming out from him. One of the players that I always, you know, Nickelback is not like the star fragger most of the time, but he does have all those lurk plays. He holds sights a lot of the time single-handedly, where his team pretty much abandons him and tells him to just try and hold it down. And he does deliver it time and time again. One of the more exceptional unsung heroes of the Entropiq roster.
Double offset up here for Entropiq. Only 7 kills on Crad. He's having a bit of a quiet game so far, but to be honest, the same can be said for a lot of the Eternal Fire side. I mentioned IMORR. If he delivers, he's unstoppable. If he has a weak game, then there can be problems, and only 3 kills here today so far for him. Elian, big kill, but can't seem to contend with the run boost. And despite being a man down, Eternal Fire have managed to work their way onto the site and should be able to get this bomb planted.
Oh! But it's again Nickelback coming in on that flank, and WOXİC gets overwhelmed. Triple kill, easy entries, and right now he is tied with Lackey for that top fragger spot. 2 rounds, 7 kills.
Yeah. Entropiq are making this look seriously easy. This has been a very, very bizarre showing from them, bearing in mind how close this very series was just a week ago. Seems like Entropiq have been doing their homework, and they've turned up to the day just better.
And this is the map pick of Eternal Fire as well. They, again, only lost it once in 9 matches that they played on it. And right now it's going to be a Hail Mary Rush B play, though it seems to be effective this time around. And finally they find an opening in towards the site. Slowly but surely getting their smokes ready to get the bomb planted. And a 3-on-4 retake. Okay, make that a 3-on-3 retake of the B bomb site. So very tough for the CT side.
Actually on this B bomb site, notoriously the most difficult to get back into here in CS, but of course it's the last round and a half. Plus they've got tons of money. There's absolutely nothing for them to lose here except the round, of course. And that's going to be how it goes. Centares through the top of the smoke takes out Krad's head. 12-3, still an incredible half here for Entropiq. Eternal Fire absolutely have to win the pistol, and if they don't, I think this could be game over for them.
We are going to go to a quick commercial break. Be right back.
Check it out. Perché mi prebija to tak bylo. Toto je ten ráno, no. Pro nekres.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 1 between Entropiq and Eternal Fire. The map of choice for the Turkish squad. Not really paying off just yet, M&J.
Yeah, certainly not. Certainly not. Maybe they can turn it around on the CT side. To be honest, Dust 2 is one of those maps where I've seen some of the biggest turnarounds in Counter-Strike. But a 12-3 half, so difficult to recover, not only because of the numbers, but actually just from a mental perspective. You've got to think about their morale right now. Eternal Fire are going to be down in the dumps. They need this pistol round to keep that confidence high.
Yeah, not a superb situation for them. But of course, if they can at least bridge that gap a little bit more, you know, just for their confidence boost might be a nice little bit of a plus. The bomb is, in the meantime, waiting towards B tunnels while the terrorists are actually gaining A long control, even pushing further forward, trying to play distraction. But the long-range fights normally favors the CT side. However, the cross smoke's being thrown out, and this is the bamboozle play coming out from Entropiq. I talked about the fact that they didn't have strats, but they're pulling one out of the hat, and an absolutely big one, because they have no idea. Lackey gets a quad kill towards A, and iMORR is still trying to retake the wrong bomb site.
Oh man, this has gone horribly wrong, and Elian from behind finishes him off. This was looking like a really good start for Eternal Fire. I actually thought that they'd be able to take this pistol, and it just went south from there.
Well, yeah, if one of the players just gets a quad kill, you know, on the pistol, destroying his opponents, Lackey continuing his stride that he had on the CT side, and just makes it hell because the bomb wasn't even ever planned to go towards the A bomb site. You got bamboozled and you got destroyed before the bamboozle even came through.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do about that one. Great fake there from Entropiq, and I think that might be the game with it, to be honest. I really don't see a way back in here for Eternal Fire unless they pull off some serious magic. Nice opening kill. This Force Fire might just be their last real chance, and they're still doing damage with it. WOXİC got a big shot with the scout. Turn this around. Body shot connected. Elian's there to support though, and Elian saves the day with that double.
Elian comes in with the running scout, gets the kill. And with that, a triple secured towards A long, iMORR all alone, 1v3. And a CZ in hand, 24 bullets to try and clutch this round in his team's favor and keep them alive in Dust 2, though, as MNJ just mentioned, very unlikely.
CZ, 1v3. So the only thing that he's got going for him is if he actually commits to this A site, it's where Entropiq are headed and they're not there yet. So there's maybe a small chance. C4 now being retrieved, and yeah, ISSA's like really hoping that they come up short, and that's just not going to be the case. So he's going to be playing a retake at long range from short with a CZ, and I just don't see it happening.
Just sliding against the wall / AFK. It almost, I think so.
Yeah, he's timed out, definitely. There you go. He's gone before they could kill him as well. Oh man.
He just vanished, and that should mean that we're going to go to a short little technical pause to try and fix that issue. Yeah, Alien just rushing through double doors, picking up the AK, and then makes that a nice triple. I mean, that's some star performance coming through.
Absolutely. As I said, Elian as well, just the big recovery from him there. It was actually looking a little bit pear-shaped before he got that double, so really impactful stuff. 14-3, Entropiq, so close to the finish line here on their opponent map pick. And remember, once this map's concluded, they get to head over to Overpass. Their map pick, one of the better maps for them in the pool. They weren't able to take it last week, but based on what we've seen so far, I don't think that should be too much of a problem. We'll see. Unfortunately plagued by a little technical issue, though. And hopefully, whatever this technical issue is, hasn't been affecting ISSA at all throughout this game. Hopefully it's a new issue that can be quickly resolved. I always find it so difficult in like this online era of Counter-Strike where when a player's got a technical problem, there's no kind of live technical support that can just go and help. It can really screw you over.
Well, we're at least getting to see those nice little red jumpsuits. I do love the fact that it's very easily distinguishable who's on which side with the red and blue.
Yeah, it is cool. It is cool. It's a nice little change. Production value here at REPUBLEAGUE is very good, actually. All of these little cool details, all of the little cool graffitis around the map.
The floating heads.
The floating heads, yeah. I love it. I mean, what you've got to take into account here, anybody that's like a big Eternal Fire fan and wants them to qualify through, is the loser of this matchup will face up against Dream later. And based on the opening group matches, we're incredibly confident that that shouldn't be a problem for them at all. And I also wonder, based on their performance here so far on Dust 2, if that's in the back of their minds right now. I don't think that you wouldn't necessarily be playing your best in these scenarios, despite the fact that you know that you've got an easy game later. But when it's in the back of your mind that you're not in this do or die situation and that you're given like a second chance, I never think you perform at your best. I think so many teams really do pull out all the stops when the pressure's there.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, the opponent that they're about to face, they faced against yesterday, and that was a 16-4 into a 16-3. So, even if they lose this best of 3, it's not the end of the world whatsoever, because I still expect them to make it towards the playoffs. Though, of course, you do want to put up a bit of a decent result, and being absolutely destroyed by Entropiq is not necessarily the way that you want to head in towards the playoffs, where you might be forced to play against them again.
Well, going for a full eco here, Eternal Fire are playing for overtime. The issue is that it will require 12 round wins in a row to get there. A free B bomb site. Forrester just walks in, takes the head of IMORR, and that's it. Open and closed. Surely no way back into it. Elliot, firing range down mid, only connects for one. They still want to pressure onto him. There's the second. Takes a more passive angle. He's got support from his teammate. That doesn't go too well for Lackey. Forrest is there from behind, and there we go. Nice little cleanup. 2 quick taps. 15-3. Really solid stuff from Entropiq. Now Eternal Fire need 12 in a row.
It's a 12-round lead now, and on map point. Honestly, when I saw this match, I saw Entropiq versus Eternal Fire. I was like, this is going to be a 3-mapper, close 3 maps, maybe even an OT in there. But, well, map number 1 is over in a flash, it seems. They might be able to extend it for a little bit longer, but how much longer can they keep this game alive is the big question. Will they be able to at least get it to, what, 6? Or will this just be a 16-3 shutdown? iMORR, he's trying to at least keep them going for a little bit longer, taking down the Opper from the terrorist side.
That's not a bad start. IMORR, of course, on that secondary. Just behind in spawn, though, and Lackey's in pit. So, this is a really interesting configuration here from Entropiq. Lackey's just been spotted, though. What a read there from Eternal Fire. Actually jump spot down into the lower pit. Flashback from Crad, though, and it comes just in the nick of time. Lackey's head stripped from his shoulders. Back into a 3-on-3, and 2 players with AWPs on them. This could still be very winnable here for Entropiq.
Just bunny hopping across Nickelback does not fear death whatsoever. Just dueling against WOXİC on the op. That's a very dangerous hobby.
The fact, the initial kind of peak to bait out the strike, the fact that he then goes for it again and actually jumps across is just bonkers in my mind. WOXİC with the shot there, too many targets to choose from, and he shoots right between the middle of them. Whilst they're not able to capitalize and trade it, gives them a lot of control. They can work their way up long. ISSA spraying through the smoke does find them, doesn't take any damage from it either, so it's perfect. And he even finds another grab. Makes WOXİC fall, but IMORR's there to recover, and Eternal Fire narrowly take their 4th. 9 in a row needed.
Well, they're closing the gap little by little, M&J. So close, but no, yet incredibly far away. The fact that they spotted Lackey in pit and he still manages to get 2 kills in that situation is something that really should not happen.
2 for masses out. Not the best of buys on fire. Remember, they took a fair bit of damage in the last. Lackey, though. And it's down for the Desert Eagles, so that. He needs one of his teammates to find an early pick and try and drop him a weapon. I'm not sure what Forrester's actually spared, but it seemed to go through, so... Maybe just checking that left corner. I wasn't aware that that was as spammable as it so seems.
Oh, no.
WOXİC, though, that's such a perfect Molotov. And they're going to